Dragon Ball Heroes, Episode 4, titled Super Few Appears. We see Cumber still on his rampage in his golden Great Ape form, barreling down on Vegeta and Goku, who are slowly exhausting their reserves of energy and at the moment are only quite able to maintain Super Saiyan form. Although I'm pretty sure this is just to get people in a tizzy over all the dramatic excitement. As they decide to both go for his tail, Vegeta is promptly smacked away while Goku begins to get crushed underfoot. Cumber is just far too fast. And as even Trunks gets in on the action, he is also whipped away just as quickly as he joins in on the battle. And as they find themselves being barreled down by Cumber's distorted energy mouth blast, even Cooler makes commentaries about how much Cumber is just raging out of control and tries to get in a few shots, only to also be blasted away. To the point where you kind of have to wonder why Cooler is even here if he's not even really contributing anything aside from standing around being all like, oh, ain't that some shit, and then getting knocked away or just getting out of the way or something. However, while Few is happy about how much energy they're outputting, he is not happy about the fact that Cumber's power is starting to crack the glass dome around the prison planet, and he decides that it's time for him to put a stop to Cumber's out of control rampage. And while Goku continues to be crushed underfoot by Cumber, he decides to amp it up to Super Saiyan Blue in order to break free, and then goes into Kaioken times 20 in addition to Blue in order to match up against Cumber. But despite this power, it doesn't seem to be enough to fully take on Cumber himself. Where Cumber is getting all this energy is anyone's guess, because he is ridiculously powerful. However, their fight is interrupted by a blast from Few himself, who has come to, just tell him, it's just like, hey, knock it off, stop breaking my stuff, and he says that he will rein Cumber in from his, out of control energy. So he powers up into Super Few. Like, how he has this kind of ability is very much unknown. But then again, Mira, who was created by Toa, and their combined essence, you know, I don't actually know too much about Mira himself. I know that he had certain transformations that were similar to a Saiyan's, so it might be possible that Few also has some Saiyan genealogy within him as well. But I think it's interesting in the fact that Few's power is able to take over his weapon, his sword, and also creates this dark energy, as he is part demon as well. But Few takes this opportunity to basically absorb the artificial moon that Cumber created into his sword. And as Cumber is depowered because of this, he tries to go on the offensive against Few himself. Although Few is just like, okay, I did what I came here to do. I'm about to let you guys get back to the action. Which, leaves everybody guessing as to what exactly Few is up to with all of this. He seems to want to gather up as much energy as possible, but to what end is very much unknown. This was also part of this plan during Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, where he was trying to gather energy from when he distorted the timeline and so on. So what he's trying to gather this energy in order to do is very much unknown. Few is not gaining power just for the sake of power. He seems to have an end goal in mind. Now, whether or not this will ultimately come into play with something in regards to the demon realm, or if it's something else entirely, is pretty much up in the air. However, Cumber takes this time to power up into his dark energy form yet again, and for some reason, Goku decides to power up into Super Saiyan God form for the first time in this series at least. However, after viewing this, especially the red hair, Cumber notices something and grows even angrier because of it. Now, I have a theory in regards to this, in that I believe that it's possible that Cumber comes from the distant past of planet Vegeta, the original planet Sadala, where, the various righteous Saiyans came together to stop a great threat. And I believe that great threat might have been Cumber, because few has power over time. And to have a warrior as powerful as this, who has so much, strength and power, it could only be that he comes from a point before, because the fact that he even recognizes the power of Super Saiyan God means that he must come from a place or time when he had seen it before. So it had to have something to do with the original Super Saiyan and the original Super Saiyan God. But whether or not this theory is true or not, we'll just have to wait and see. So tell me your thoughts on this episode in the comment section below. What do you think about the crazy power that Cumber has? What do you think about the crazy power that Few has? Where does this all come from? You know, and I like the fact that it ties so much. Few ties things into the overarching story of Dragon Ball Heroes, of the Dark Empire and all that, because honestly, that's probably one of the best ongoing stories in Dragon Ball to date. Just the whole situation with Towa, Mira, Deborah, Demigra, Michikabula, and Few himself. It's just like, I really wish we could get like a season of Dragon Ball Super that just focused on the demon realm, because it's so much untapped potential right there. They play so much of an important, factor into a lot of lore. And hell, even during one point in one of the games where Toa was the main villain, Akira Toriyama himself had gone out of his way to say, don't kill her off, in saying that she has a lot of potential. And that fact alone just says so much about her character and how much more we can get out of her. She makes a very interesting antagonistic presence in the world of Dragon Ball itself. And I would like to see that expanded a lot more, especially since we just don't have enough to go on. And it's so interesting, this battle between the Time Breakers and the Time Patrol. There's so much to go on. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave me a like if you liked what I had to say here, or a dislike if you didn't, and subscribe for more episodes of Dragon Ball Hero.